I wish that I was an octopus. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about my finished whip, my current whip, and a little acquisition. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your fiber arts craft, and let's get started. So, if you have been following me for a while, you're probably so sick of this, but I made another single malt sweater, and this time I made it for my boyfriend. He really liked my older brother's and my dad's sweaters, so I decided I would make one for him for his birthday. So that's what I have here, his little birthday balloons, his gift, I'm wearing it. And so I had bought the yarn at my local yarn shop. This is the same yarn that I used for my older brother's single malt sweater. It's the Moonshine yarn by Juniper Moon Farm in the color, it's the color 80 and it's in the color Midnight. So this is the yarn. It's a beautiful deep blue. And I made it following the pattern exactly, except I didn't do the raglan detail. I didn't do this all the way down to the sleeve like it asks. I just stopped it right there, and that's it. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really happy with the way it fits on him. It looks super nice. I think he looks super great on it. And I will post pictures. We ended up going to the Georgia Atlanta Aquarium for his birthday and seeing the whale shark and seeing like the beluga whales and the dolphin show. And so he got to wear it, which is good because I was afraid that I was cutting it a little too close and he wouldn't be able to wear it. But there still seems to be cold weather. So, yeah, so he was able to wear it the whole day and it kept him nice and warm and he looked great in it and I'm really happy with it. So the only thing is that I wish that I had done something different. So for the single malt sweater for my older brother, I followed the pattern exactly. For my dad, I did the texture only on the top and then stockinette on the body. And then for my boyfriend's sweater, I followed everything to the pattern except I excluded the detail. However, I wish that I had thought of this idea beforehand. So I saw a sweater. I think it's called the Feral sweater. And it looks similar. I don't know if the texture is the same, but it looks similar to this. And then the sleeves are seed stitching. And I wish that I had seen that because then I would have done that for this sweater. I don't know, I didn't have the idea to do it. So, but if I had seen it, I would have started from the sleeve down the seed stitching and then just followed this texture for the pattern. However, by the time I saw it, I was already about to start the sleeve. And I asked my boyfriend if he would like the idea, and he said no. So that's that. Yeah. I think in the last video I said that we all know about the boyfriend sweater curse, but I had already started knitting this, so I was secretly doing this already. And I'm really happy with the project. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really happy with how it looks on him. And yeah, I will post pictures again about so you can see how it looks on him. So yeah, I think that's all I will say about this sweater. And hopefully this is the last time that I talk about this because I think now my family is probably a walking advertisement for the single malt sweater. And if you are new here and you want to find out more, go ahead and watch like all my previous videos because I think I talk about the single malt sweater in like 3 or 4 videos. So yeah, I highly recommend the pattern. I think it's great and pretty simple once you get the texture down. Once you like understand what's happening, you don't really have to look at the pattern. So yeah, but hopefully this is the last time that I make this sweater. And now I can finally move on and knit for myself. So that brings me to my current whip, and that is the Arctic Light Sweater, and I'm making it in the yarn in the colorway Cedar by Ruby and Rose's yarn, and I have it here. I don't have much, so I don't have much to show you because the main part of this is just the collar, and at the end she has you sew it down so it'll be half this size. So this is pretty much what I've got. I've just started the cabling and the pattern, like the textured part. So I've got a little bobble here. I've got some parts that are the beginning of a cable. You can't really tell, but yeah. So I started this and I ended up frogging it because there is a section. Let me see if I can show it to you. So, as I was knitting this, I noticed that there are two pearls that feel loose and look loose next to the cable. And so I kept looking at it and then I kept knitting and I was like, this is going to bother me until it gets resolved. And I don't know how to fix this because I kept trying to tighten it and it just made it worse. So I ended up, I was like, you know what? I think because I looked at the pattern and I noticed that, let's see if I can show you. I'm going to try to show you and see. Okay, so this is the ribbing. It's knit through the back loop and purl. If you notice here, this doesn't align, right? So this is the knit, and then there's like a purl here, I think. And then here it does another knit through the back loop. So it's not aligned. Over here, though, it is. On this side, it is. So this lines up here, this lines up here. And so this purl here lines up, whereas this purl does not. And because of that, hopefully I showed you. So because of that, I believe that since the purl aligns on one section, it's loose compared to the other side where the purl does not align. So I thought I made a mistake and I thought that I had messed up the alignment, and so I frogged it. Well, after I frogged it, I looked at the pattern picture and realized that on her sweater, it's like that. There is that one side of it aligns and the other side doesn't align. And so if you look at the pattern, like if you look at the picture, you'll notice that the pearls next to those cables are also loose. So after I frogged it, I realized that I hadn't done anything wrong and that's just how the pattern is. But I don't like it because I don't like that the purl is loose. So I thought that I could fix it. So after doing the collar part, I thought, okay, like let me get to that section. I believe it's section A. Let me see if I can find a way to make the purl not align on that side of it. However, I couldn't think of a way to do that because if I added a stitch, then there would be more stitches in that section. And then if I removed a stitch, then I'd have too little a stitch in that section. And I need to have that certain amount of stitches for the cables for the pattern to like line up and match. So, and So I just left it as is. I'm trying to think like, okay, is it something that I'm doing wrong with how I'm purling? But I'm not, or I don't think I am, because I can see in her pattern that it's loose, like it's not as tight as the other side. So if there's any tips on how to like tighten that section, because I mean, I can even, like, you can see it here. So these pearls look tight, and then you go right next to it, and those pearls are loose. That is not as tight as the other side. So I don't know how to fix that. And obviously that's like how the pattern is, but I personally don't like it. Maybe after I block it, it doesn't look like as much, or it's not as noticeable, but it bothers me while I'm knitting because I can clearly see that it's not tight. Like I can feel it. So that's the only thing. And I just can't believe that I frogged it, and then like as soon as I frogged it, I was like, oh, let me look at the picture. And well, okay, well, there we go. I frogged it too early, because if I had seen the picture, I would have been like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Because if you look at even the collar for hers, it also does the same thing. One side of the collar is aligned and the other side is not. So yeah. But I am having, like, I am enjoying the fact that I'm learning how to make all of these little textures. Like, I've got the little bauble here. Right next to the bauble, there's this nice texture on, hold on. Oh, right here. Not next to the bauble, but near the bauble. On this other side, you've got, see that little nice shape there. So it's fun, like learning. It's fun learning all the new textures that I haven't learned before. The only thing is that I'm not able to watch like a show or anything while knitting this, because I have to keep looking at the chart, and I have to, because some stitches are, she asks for you to knit through the back loop, and then other stitches is just knitting like normal, and I haven't memorized that yet. So I have like a little sheet where I wrote out all the textures and like what each step is, so that I can keep track, because if not, it gets a little bit confusing, and I don't want to keep watching the tutorials that she has on YouTube. Like, I don't want to keep having that and having to like move the, like, figure out where each pattern is, like, yeah. So, but luckily she does have a video that explains the patterns, because I would have been very confused without it. So now that I've watched the video, now I can kind of just write down each step, and then I'm good to go. So yeah, so thankfully she has those videos, because that was extremely helpful. So if you plan on making this Arctic Light sweater, I highly suggest looking at that video so that you can know what she's asking for each step, for the patterns and for the cables. Yeah, so I think that's it. I don't have much more progress on that, and I don't have anything else that I'm working on other than the Arctic Light sweater. I do want to talk about this little acquisition. So this is a little pin. I don't know if you can see what it says. It says a quart of wool and needles, and if you know me, you know that I'm obsessed with the ACOTAR series. So when I saw this, I was, I loved it. My boyfriend bought it for me. I'm so happy with it. It's so cute. If it'll just like line up. Hello. It's so cute. So now I am a high lady of a quart of wool and needles. So yeah. I do want to talk about one other thing. So after the Arctic Light sweater, I basically want to knit a bunch of striped sweaters. For whatever reason, actually no, I do know the reason. ever since I made the hands thumb sweater for my brother and I had to get creative for me not to deal with yarn chicken, and I made the 5 stripes in the middle, I became obsessed with stripes and really want a striped sweater. And then I watched an episode of the True Laney knitting podcast, and she is wearing this sweater, and I literally, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this sweater. It looks so nice on her. I love the colors. The fit looks great on her. And so I went on a hunt to find which sweater that was, and it's the Stripe Hype sweater. Now, the funny thing is that she became obsessed with the sweater after she saw the episode by Handmade with Kay on YouTube, and I just think it's funny that she like was first obsessed with hers and now I'm obsessed with hers, and hopefully this is just like an all-around, everyone just becomes obsessed with each other's Stripe Hype sweater, and that's how we hype up the sweater. So after seeing that, I went on a hunt to find like what yarns to use for it, because I really want to make a striped sweater. So I have on my Ravelry a whole list of all the striped sweaters that I want to make, which leads me to the fact that I updated, and like now I'm getting into Ravelry, because at first I wasn't into it. I honestly, I've known about Ravelry since I was like 10 probably, because my mom was knitting, and so she knew about Ravelry from all the other people talking about Ravelry. This website has like not changed since then. Like, it looks so old to me, and it doesn't seem very like user friendly, but it's also at the same time kind of nice, because since I move around, I can now have like a digital notebook, and I can have a digital stash of my yarn, because I also do not have my yarn with me, which is extremely sad, because I love just like looking at my yarn and having my yarn with me. Same thing with my books. I also don't have that with me. So it's kind of nice to be able to see the digital version, and that way I can tell how much yarn I have left and how much I've used up. So I have updated my Ravelry, and I now have projects, queues, and stash. And the pictures that I used for the stash are the pictures that are online for the yarn, because again, I do not have my yarn with me, so I cannot take pictures of me holding the yarn. So that'll just have to do for now, but once I have the yarn, maybe I'll like update the pictures and have a more accurate representation of the yarn. But I also have like my queue, and I think I have 32 projects in my queue, which is 31. I have 31, which is crazy. But I actually do really like want to make all these things. And I think majority of the projects in my queue, I have the yarn for them. So after the Arctic Light sweater, I want to make the Stripe Hype sweater, the Anna Winter sweater. I have the yarn for the Tombow Tea sweater. I have the Storn Away sweater on my queue, but I'm debating that sweater and another sweater. Like, I don't know between the two which to do. Let me see if I have it on here. I actually don't have it on here. I think I'll put a picture of the other sweater that I'm debating between, but I basically have like a bunch of striped sweaters. I have the Sunday sweater and the Compliment sweater. So I have a lot of striped sweaters, and I think that this year is the year for stripes for me. It's my stripe era, because I don't know, I just really want to make striped sweaters. So yeah, those are the mainly my plan is to kind of finish, or like at least get through half of what's on my queue, because I have all the yarns for those projects. I I really do wish I had like 8 arms. Like, I wish that I was an octopus and that I could just knit and knit and knit with my extra arms, because I really enjoy it. I really do. And I just want to like make so many sweaters and projects. So yeah. The other crazy idea that I have is like for our like Ireland trip, I want to be able to have every single outfit have something knitted. It doesn't have to be like every outfit has to have a knitted sweater. I mean, like, if just like a scrunchie or a scarf or a hat or socks or something, where every outfit gets something that's knitted, because I think it just will be nice to have something where my mom and I have been looking forward to this Ireland trip and like wanting to go to Ireland for like 8 years now. And I think it would be nice that if we finally get the chance to go, then while I'm there, I get to have something knitted, and like whenever we take pictures, I'm wearing something knitted, and that was passed down from my mom teaching me how to knit. And so I just think it would be really nice that we are on this trip together, and we're on this trip together, and then I'm also wearing something that I was only able to learn because my mom was the one that taught me. And so I just think it would be nice and a sentimental and a very nice trip where I can do that. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. I really do wish I had 8 arms. That would make things so much easier. But anyways, those are my last thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys on the next one. Bye!